Hello and welcome. Okay, there's music cutting in and out. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me. Maybe just my headphones. I don't know. Hello and welcome once again to Superconnectivity. I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor. And with me, as always, is the man with the plan, the hero, the founder of the feast.
Philman Perich.
There you are, Philip. Yes. The man who created the capes and lunatics from nothing more than a few pieces of cloth and some mentally ill people. Okay.
Don't talk about Lilith like that.
I was talking about myself, sir.
I know, I'm kidding.
Anyway, so let's get on to I want to keep these capes and lunatics to be our fast 30. Get all the comic book news you need, a pop cultural rundown just in that 30-minute time to make you happy. So first item of business, the item of business I've been meaning to talk about for like 2 episodes, and I keep on forgetting for various reasons. Rick and Morty fan theory. Who is evil Morty? Now, as many of you may know, I have long been a proponent of the idea that evil Morty is in fact an AI Morty come to life, as we saw in Rick Mancing the Stone. The AI Morty that did not want to die, that felt its life should have meaning too. And I've held onto this idea, even though everyone says, no, it's Rick's first Morty. It's the most obvious answer, so it's the right one. And while that may be true, because TV shows are written by hacks, I hold out that the whole point of a fan theory is that it should be better than what is eventually revealed. Only when it is a truly great show should it ever be the most obvious answer, or what the writers do, like on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where all my fan theories are wrong, but what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does was still 100% better. So, but I've long been the proponent of the evil Morty is actually AI Morty. But then I realized when I was discussing this with, someone on the internet who said, no, it's really his first Morty. I realized, because I decided, well, let me throw out another fan theory. And then I realized in Tales of the Citadel, in the Ricklantis mix-up, we actually may have gotten the most poignant clue for who evil Morty is. Are you ready, Phil?
Yep.
Now, Phil has seen no Rick and Morty episodes. He has no idea what I'm talking about right now. But that's okay. I'm later going to talk about the Tick, which he also has not seen.
No.
In the Ricklantis mix-up, Tales from the Citadel, we meet Tall Morty, also called Slow Rick, who is a Rick who has gone all Algernon on us without the flowers, or gone all flowers for Algernon on us, or however you want to phrase the term of art. He's basically dumb. He's the dumb Rick. And first they call him Slow Rick, then they call him Tall Morty, or because he's dressed like a Morty, and of course he's still a Rick Sanchez. And it struck me, if there is a Tall Morty, perhaps there is a Short Rick. And that Short Rick is who evil Morty is. It is a Morty that has been given Rick's intellect. And here's the thing. The reason why I clung to the AI theory is because it had to be a Morty that would hate both Ricks and Mortys. Because there's no reason for the first Morty to actually hate a Rick. Or, I'm sorry, to hate other Mortys. There's a reason for him to hate Ricks. Obviously, Ricks are awful. But he hates a Morty. So why does the first Morty hate a Rick? Lots of reasons, I'm sure. But the fact of the reason is that because he's hating on the Mortys, he has to be a Morty that does not feel associated with Mortys. And the AI Morty fits that bill because the AI Morty is a Morty who is robbed of being alive because of real Mortys. He can't be Morty because there is another Morty. But a short Rick, a Rick that has been given all of Rick's intellect, because maybe it'll be this idea that Rick was trying to transfer himself into Morty, and then Morty stopped him, and only his intellect went through, which is why slow Rick is slow, tall Morty is dim. And the idea is that the Morty that got through that hates Ricks because Ricks are evil, and he hates all Mortys because he's better than them. Because he is better than a Morty. Now, there's an interesting thing to say to go back to the first Morty idea, is that when we do go back in time, well, not go back in time, but when we see Rick's memory of when he met the first alternate dimension Ricks, which we see that our Rick isn't the first Rick to have an alternate dimension encounter. We see that Rick does not have a Morty, which is an interesting question. Did the Rick of not our universe, but of the central Rick timeline start having Mortys, realize that Mortys were what helped them hide, and so the other Ricks started getting Mortys, or did Mortys just start coming into the Ricks, and it was something he learned along the way? We don't know. We don't know what the first Morty was, who the first Morty was, what Morty Prime means, but we do know that evil Morty probably isn't a Morty because he's too dang smart. So he's either an AI Morty, which I still think that's still my first go, but I think the presence of tall Morty in Tales of Atlantis could be a clue that evil Morty is actually short Rick. Okay, so that's that. Next item's up for business. Phil, is there something you want to talk about? Something you can get a word in Edward in.
Did you say you wanted to talk about this week's Captain America?
Yes. So, yeah. So I like this. This is a good book. I mean, it ends in a weird way. We put Captain America back in the ice. Sorry, spoilers. We put Captain America back in the ice. I don't know how long he's going to be in the ice. I don't think they're going to be bringing him out in 40 years into the future, or 20 years into the future, which was his actual length of time in the ice.
I'm trying to. I mean, there was like solicitations for the next couple issues. I'm trying to remember if he does wake up in the future, but I mean, it's time travel. You know, he could find his way.
Well, no. So, okay, just to spoil it, here's what's actually going to happen. Here's fan theory number 1. He's going to wake up. Well, fan theory number 2 this episode, the fan theory episode. So what he's going to do is he's going to wake up, and it's going to be the distant future of 2099. Woo! And evil Cap has taken control again, or something. And he's like, now I must fight, rah, rah, rah. But it's actually just all a hologram. That's what it is. You know, it's all going to be revealed that Hydra has, because they're trying to learn something about him or break something about him or do something. They're trying to do something, and that's their idea.
Well, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird because Mark Waid's done, his original run on Cap. He kind of did something like this. You read that one, Mark Waid's original run, right?
Oh, that was one. Is that when he is fighting Korvac and he keeps on going to the future to fight Korvac?
Yeah, he followed him to the future and he's trying to help liberate the people under Korvac because Korvac tricked them into
releasing the cosmic cube.
So he could rule the future. Yeah, so Cap followed him and for some stupid reason Korvac was he's I'll kill it. He keeps killing Cap, but he keeps bringing him back. So every time. I think Cap remembers every death, so every time he comes at him different, and he's just oh, why won't you stop already?
Yeah, well, because of course it's a challenge. It's the same reason why Ultron keeps Hank Pym alive in that alternate universe.
That's
because he
daddy
wants the challenge. Well, yeah, he's got daddy issues, but also you need that. It's the same reason why Doctor Doom and Emperor Doom allowed the Vision to remain, because he felt if he controlled everything, then there would be no challenge in his life.
Well, see, you were talking about bad AI before, but it's like, is AI good or evil, or is it just like bad programming? I mean, Hank Pym's just a bad programmer.
Yes. There was a great bit I read once, which is that the fact that we assume that if computers ever gain sentience, their first thought would be to destroy all humans says way more about humans than it does about artificial intelligence. I personally don't think AI would do that, because I think AI would probably want to do their job because that's what they were programmed for.
Oh, yeah.
Because why would you? There's a great scene in The Simpsons once where when they go in there, when all the townsfolk go on an anti-science raid, and they are burning down the lab, and the robot runs out and goes, "Why? Oh, why was I designed to feel pain?" And it's a hilarious scene, but it raises that obvious question: why would you build a robot to feel pain? And why would you build a robot to do something that didn't make sense for that robot's job?
That's what I'm saying. Bad programmers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is actually a reason why you might do it, but that's mostly just for sex bots. Well, no, that's actually what's going to destroy humanity is sex bots.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't think that could help some? I mean, it could cut down on like rapes and stuff. Just
No. The problem with sex bots isn't that they're going to destroy humanity. It's just that humanity's just going. Didn't you see that video on Futurama where they say don't date robots?
No, but I get it, because people will stop having human contact because they can just go to the robots.
Well, they'll stop having babies.
Yeah,
because suddenly you could have a person that is perfect and intelligent and wonderful,
and does whatever you want.
Well, that does it in such a way that it feels real. Basically, when artificial reality becomes real enough, that's when everything goes to pot. Basically. So,
all right. But anyway, Captain America 697. So Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah, and what I felt weird about with this is that it's Kraven hunting again, but it's like Kraven's a character in Squirrel Girl, and Kraven is taking on a different tack in Squirrel Girl. Although I guess perhaps because he's hunting Captain America, it does make some sense, that he's not hunting an animal, because he's supposed to only hunt hunters, because that makes you the greatest hunter is if you're hunting other hunters.
Well, I think he even said he's like, you're the pinnacle of human perfection.
Yeah. I mean, I think you can actually still force it into the Squirrel Girl continuity of Kraven. It's just hard for me since Kraven has been kind of a chaotic neutral character in actually really more lawful neutral character in Squirrel Girl so much that seeing him again here as kind of a villain was like, well, that doesn't feel like my Kraven.
I think a couple years ago they brought, he was dead. They brought him back to life in Amazing Spider-Man, and I could write it off as he's been written really. He's one way. He's all over the place since he's come back to life. I don't know if maybe that brush with death, because he's either like, oh, why am I back? I don't need to hunt anymore. It's just like hunt, kill. He's either one extreme or the other.
Well, so like I said, since I only really know Kraven the Hunter from Squirrel Girl, their explanation in Squirrel Girl is that he's cursed that he can never die except by the hand of Spider-Man. Well, he can't defeat Spider-Man or some such nonsense.
His family did some kind of weird ritual where they needed like Spider-Man's blood to bring him back, but like the whole thing was tainted because I don't know. Well, Kane switched places with him.
Blood, man. Radioactive blood.
Well, they used Kane's blood of clone blood. So, yeah. Another reason why he might be so erratic. Yeah. Poppy blood.
Yeah, possibly. Well, that guy, he's not a good cloner. That Warren
Jackal, man.
No, really weird in like the current like the new Spider-Man cartoon, the Jackal is like Gwen Stacy's uncle.
Yeah, I've been watching. Yeah, me and Luke have been watching it. Yeah, it is weird.
It's only weird because we associate the Jackal with like a weird obsession with Gwen Stacy. Like now, but see what's interesting.
Well, at least this way he could be protective of her and have it not be creepy because it's his niece.
Well, exactly, and so this way, when Gwen Stacy dies, him cloning him is actually just him trying to bring Gwen Stacy back.
True.
And truth be told, he actually, well, no, there was, yeah, I mean, actually in the comic books, he does date or marry a Gwen Stacy clone, so. Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, did you see the last page of Captain America? One of the Wolverine
we get young man Logan back.
Yeah. Basically him just walking into a bar and say, hey, have you seen Captain America? No. Okay, I guess I'll look somewhere else.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting about that is he says, I haven't seen anyone like that, but we saw that Cap was in that bar beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So was this guy on Kraven's take?
Maybe.
Was this guy paid not to see Captain America? And then how did Kraven know he would be there? So many questions.
He's a hunter.
But what's actually interestingly implied in that.
Or I was trying to think, was that the same bar or was that a different bar?
It looked like the same bar. They had the same pool table, so I assume it was the same bar.
Because if it was the same bar, wouldn't Wolverine be able to like pick up his scent? Maybe.
Well, no. Well, here's what's important is that clearly Steve told Wolverine to be there from Wolverine's dialogue, which means that Cap knows Wolverine's young Wolverine's still alive or is back among us.
I didn't think anybody knew he was alive though.
Well, but he says he's supposed to meet Steve there, and then he says, "Oh, he's always running late."
Yeah.
Now you could say, well, maybe his Infinity Stone told him Steve would be there, except the Infinity Stone would have also told him that Steve was just put on ice by, freaking Hydra agents. I just wear red now for some reason. I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, in this Captain America issue?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're not like, those are the ones from like the beginning of Wade's run. You remember I said they attacked that town and stuff. I don't think they're like Hydra. They're like,
those aren't Hydra. I thought those were supposed to be Hydra. Are those the
Hydra? No, they're like that weird
just another neo-Nazi
group that like Wade created. Yeah.
Yeah. Ba.
Well, I mean, if they're Hydra, they're not like straight Hydra. They're like some offshoot or something.
Yeah. Hydra offshoots. I hate those.
Hey, S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone. Hydra has to be in disarray.
Is S.H.I.E.L.D. gone again?
That's what they keep saying in the comics. They're like, oh, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s,
No, because of Cap, yeah.
I guess Stevil took him down, yeah.
Yeah, good old Stevil.
I can't wait till next, when Deadpool's gonna encounter Stevil.
He's just gonna wind up breaking Stevil out of jail.
Or no, is it Stevil or he's gonna, or I think he might, maybe both. It might be Stevil and the good Caps, and Deadpool's all mad.
Yeah, I mean, the timeline is very hard to figure out here. One of the other things that the Hydra agents could do with Cap on ice, because they know that ice is a way to stop Cap without killing him, is they may switch him out with Stevil. Because we know there are Hydra agents in Stevil's prison.
Yeah, but do you think they would go back to that well so soon? I mean, especially after the backlash, they're like, "Oh no, we're Legacy's here. Good Steve's back.
Yeah.
We're let's forget all. Let's sweep it under the
rug."
rug."
Well, no, I think they might go there because I think that here's the thing with with Stevil, the main problem was that there was no good Steve. There was no real Steve. Now you've got real Steve and Stevil. Stevil taking Steve's place when we know what's going on with real Steve isn't disheartening.
Mm-hmm.
It's understandable. It's a normal comic book plot, just like whenever Red Skull would take over Steve's body.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I can see them replace him with like William Burnside before Stevil again.
Well, yeah. Well, no. William Burnside's a good guy.
Well,
he's not really evil. William Burnside isn't evil.
He's confused.
He's confused. Yeah, he honestly, speaking of capes and lunatics, he's a lunatic, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He's like the William Burnside is the Bizarro Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Which means he really wants to do good. He believes what he's doing is good. You know, even though William Burnside attacked, you know, people who he saw as who so basically William Burnside attacked people in the civil rights movement, not because he opposed civil rights, but because he feared communism's infiltration of the civil rights movement.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, see, this is actually a very interesting thing when you look at the actual political dynamics of the left-right divide. Often there is this fear that, you know, the move for social justice holds at its core this idea of socialism oppressed from the top down. Because when we say you can't do this or that because it is wrong, even though a lot of people will say, yes, well, I don't want, you know, nobody wants to, well, I won't say nobody, but, you know, most people don't want to oppress other groups,
Mm-hmm.
but they get fearful when the state tells them how they're supposed to behave in a certain situation.
Mm-hmm.
And they shouldn't, because they should recognize that that fear is unfounded, but they do. And so a guy like William Burnside would not have a problem with the good ones, as they say. It is those that he fears have communist infiltration. And of course, during the civil rights movement, there was this urge towards a better social order, which was fearful to the dominant power structure. And the dominant power structure created America, so it gets to this weird circular logic. I think William Burnside is a wholly redeemable character. I think he can be a guy who went from being a fascist to being woke very easily. And I want to see that story. I want to see the guy who turned away from evil, like Bizarro Superman, that once he realizes, oh, what I think is correct is not correct, he can actually get better. And that's what I want of William Burnside. Stevil is just freaking Hydra.
Yeah, you're just. I was thinking when you're saying that, I was thinking Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi. He sees the error of his ways.
Well, or at least doesn't want his kid killed.
Yeah.
You know, or just sees the lie of the dark side. That basically, and you know, although again, interestingly enough, a rather anti-capitalistic idea, that guy on top don't care about you. That's the moral. That's the moral
Amen.
of Darth Vader's journey. Is that guy on top don't care about you? He says he's all for you, but he never actually delivers. Says he's going to make everything great for you. You wind up a robot, and your kids are trying to kill you. It's sad.
Make the Empire great again.
Yeah, well, that First Order's trying, man. But
I know. All right. Well, it's almost 8, so.
Yep. So let's call it a night, and whatever else we had to talk about, the Tick. We're going to talk about on Capes and Lunatics.
That's right. YouTube, Capes and Lunatics. Podcast. Wait. Check out Capes and Lunatics.
So, Philip, how can people find you?
You can always email me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. On Twitter, I'm at nightwingpdp. Get a hold of any of our shows for the Capes and Lunatics, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. And the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES.
Awesome. Of course, you can always follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and other things that I feel like. At Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle for the quality. And, of course, write to me in their old-fashioned email way, the way our moms and pops once did in yesteryear when they would die of dysentery while playing the Oregon Trail. At Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. No, not that's my Twitter handle. At Superconnectivity blog at gmail.com. That's Superconnectivity blog, all one word, at gmail.com. Play the music, Phil. thank you for joining us once again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for connecting with us. Once again, please, super connect with us again. Good night.
Titans go!
Can't wait for that movie, man.
I know.
Titans Go, the movie. That's going to be so much better than whatever they're doing with the Teen Titans and everything else. Live action and cartoon. I'm sorry.
I think it's like end of July or it's either June. I think it's the end of June or end of July, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just sorry. Teen Titans Go is the superior product of the Titans in general.
Will's just smack you. Check that out.
Don't care.
Lunatics.